What's good, everybody? What's up? It's your boy Anthony Blake Jr. back with another episode of Flawless Fantasy Football. Your boy back in the house. Back in the house. I know it's been a hot minute, you know what I'm saying? But y'all bear with me. I had some personal things going on, but I wasn't going to leave y'all hanging for too long. Y'all already know that, you know? Hey, check it out. I got this new thing I got going on. What I want to do, I want to spotlight, highlight, profile two players each video for the next, I don't know how long. But basically how I did it was I'm starting with the wide receivers. I'm going to highlight the wide receiver 1 and then wide receiver 2, then 3 and 4, and 5 and 6, and so forth. And I will give, we'll talk about what they did last year in short, and also I'll give you my quick outlook on what we should expect for them, or what I expect for them this coming season in 2022. So, obviously, since we're starting wide receivers, I felt y'all might want to know about wide receivers first. I'm a running back guy. So we're going to start with wide receivers first. And I said, since we're going about 2 at a time, we'll probably get through the first 30 here in a couple weeks. So, who knows? I might just throw 3 in there every once in a while. We'll see what happens. All right, so obviously you can see by the thumbnail, we're starting with Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuels. Before we get going, if anybody, it's your first time here, press like. Press subscribe. Stick with your boy. I got content and I'm gonna push out content. I'm gonna give you an objective, give you a view different from what the mainstream is gonna give you, because let's be honest, they're all basically saying the same thing. They're scared to stick their neck out. They go and do all these analytics, and just some things just analytics can't show you, But my experience can. All right. I know a lot of you guys are new. Welcome again. But trust me, my old subscribers from this past season, because I only been popping off just the beginning of the 2021 season, they know I can call it. So you're not going to waste your first round picks over here. So and definitely, rock with your boy. Y'all already seen how I roll with the Super Bowl. Beforehand. I called that right, and I got others. I can make some plays for you, all right? Let's start it off. Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuels. You can see by the thumbnail, like I said. What else can we say about Cooper Kupp? He had an awesome season. We all know what he did, but let's just run through the stats real quick. He had 145 catches on 191 targets, 1,947 yards. That's bananas. Now, granted, it was an extra game, but hey, that's the way it is now, so it is what it is. 16 touchdowns. Seemed like he was scoring every week. And basically in half-point PPR, by the way, too. And that's what I'm going to use as the barometer here. Half-point PPR. I'm not going to use full point. I'm not going to use standard, so we're going to meet in the middle. Cooper Kupp had 367 half-point fantasy points. 367. Played in all 17 games. That's very important to me. Durability. Very important. And listen, anybody that had him in any type of PPR format, they balled out, and they were happy with the return they got on his pick where they picked him at in the draft. He had like 32% target share. And look, I know I'm sure that people, for the most part, 80-90% of the people, fantasy community, probably going to say Cooper Kupp should get picked as the number 1 wide receiver off the board. Listen, I'm not in the business of saying that's the wrong thing to do, okay? It's hard to see him definitely not finishing as a top 5 or 6 wide receiver no matter how you slice it. And just that rapport with Matthew Stafford and having Odell Beckham on the other side. Now, granted, he has the knee issues, so I think it'll take him some time to get back, considering he got hurt in the Super Bowls this year. But he also got Robert Woods, and we already know how I feel about that. I've said it 1,000,001 times. I don't think Robert Woods was really hurt, so nobody never seen anything in, the convenience of it all. We're not going to go there. But Robert Woods, he's signed through. He had a 4-year, $65 million deal that he signed in early 2020. So he's there. Vance Jefferson, Tyler Higbee. I love Tyler Higbee. A lot of weapons there. Cam Akers should do a lot better. That team is stacked. The defense is stacked. I don't know if Von Miller's going to be back there next year, but we'll see what happens with that. Cooper Kupp, I expect him next year to, I really expect him to be a wide receiver one, definitely in the top 5, pending injury. Now, listen, I know a lot of people say you can't anticipate injury. Sure, you can't anticipate everybody's injury, but some people you can anticipate their injury because they glasses sell. Okay, Kupp hasn't. Kupp played all 17 games, and he got nicked up the year before. But man, look, it was just too easy for him today, and I'm not gonna discredit that report he has of Matthew Stafford. So should he be the number 1 receiver off the board? Yes. Would I pick him off? I probably wouldn't. I'm a running back guy. I probably wouldn't do it. No, because he's gonna get paid way too high. But I'm not saying see, that's the thing about fantasy. Fantasy is a team game. It's not about having one guy. Like I'm sure there's people that had Cooper Kupp that guess what? They didn't make it to the playoffs. I know that may sound crazy, but I'm sure people had Cooper Kupp that didn't make it to the playoffs. You know why? Because they didn't have a solid team around them. So even though if you can have a stud on your team, you got to have a team around them, you know? And that's one of the other things I specialize in is making sure you have a solid team around you. People that's going to give you a very good game, but also people that'll give you exploding games, pop games that'll help you win your week. All right. So listen, Cooper Kupp, number 1 wide receiver in half-point PPR or in any type of scoring, and he's deserving to be the top wide receiver off the board in 2022. I don't have anything to say about him if he stays upright. Again, top 5 easy, you know. But you got to understand, people that are happy with Cooper Kupp this year is because they paid a 3rd or 4th, maybe even 5th if they were lucky, round price for him, depending on what your league size was and stuff like that. But look, if you're picking him in a first now he has to perform at the ceiling. So if he perform anywhere down here and you're expecting up here, it's going to feel like a letdown. We have to be cognizant of the Michael Thomas type thing, picking somebody high, picking them number 5 and number 6 overall. That's risky because if you swing and miss on that and something happens to not just Kupp, but hell, to Stafford, it's going to hurt, you know. So, but everything stays upright. That dude should be masterful again, and you guys should reap whoever have him. So make sure you have a team around him. Also with wide receiver depth. But Cooper Kupp, number 1. Let's move to number 2, Deebo Samuels. My beloved Deebo Samuels for my 49ers. Or Deebo Samuels for my beloved 49ers, should I say. Listen, here's the deal with my 49ers. Let me run off Deebo Samuels' stats first. 77 catches, 121 targets, 1,405 yards, 14 total touchdowns. 14 total. He had 6 receiving, 8 rushing. Okay? Now that's wild. 6 receiving, 8 rushing. He had 300.5 fantasy points, half-point PPR. He played in 16 games. Maybe he missed that one because of the groin. You know, so, but still, he balled out nicely. Kupp had 67 more points more than he did. That's crazy. But he had like a 24% target share. Here's the deal with Deebo Samuels. Much as I love Deebo Samuels and how awesome he was, people are probably going to pick Deebo Samuel, definitely probably in the top 5 wide receivers. They might. They just might. And listen, I'm a 49er fan. I'm no homer. And people know I'm no homer. I'm not going to sit up here, hey, pick this guy, pick that guy. Oh, my Niners are going to be. Listen, I'm going to be rational. And I'm not going to see you, walking into a wall. I'm not going to do that. Not around here. None of that fandom around here. So, not as it pertains to fantasy football. Absolutely not. So, but here's the deal. Usually, the wide receiver that's the cheapest for the 49ers ends up being the best pick. Okay? Now, everybody was geeked up about Brandon Ayuk last year because they remember him doing that one play when he jumped over and hurdled the guy, right? So they show that almost on every primetime game, during leading up to the game. But I don't know what got him in the doghouse, but he eventually got out. But with a new quarterback coming in, because Jimmy Garoppolo's gone, he's going to be gone. He ain't gone yet. But and then with Trey Lance coming in and emerge as the quarterback, listen, I believe that Trey Lance is gonna do more running. Well, obviously, because Garoppolo is a statue. But I don't think Deebo is gonna get the rushing touchdowns like that, which is gonna hurt his production. Also, Trey Lance likes to throw it downfield more. And that's not what Deebo particularly does. They use Ayuk more in that role. To be totally honest with you, people are kind of down on Ayuk, and I hate to say, you could get more bang for your buck in your selection in Brandon Ayuk next year. I'm not telling you to go out and draft him. I'm just saying you can get more bang for your buck. I'm not worried about Tom Brady coming in. If he does come in, which I don't want him to come in because I'm not one of those guys to say, hey, I want the GOAT to come into my team. I don't want to do it with him. I want to win with pride and dignity. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's just the deal. So it's risky picking Deebo Samuels that high. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't project. I'm going to say it here. You're going to hear it here first by hook or crook. And trust me, I'm not wishing ill will on my team. I don't believe Deebo Samuels will be. It's going to be tough to say, but I'm going to say it. I don't think he'll be a wide receiver 1 next year. That means I don't think he'll finish in the top 12 and half point PPR. I don't think so. Too many things went right. Somebody had to be in the doghouse. You had to have a guy that like to throw it short, which Garoppolo. And I just think it's too much changeover and too many other elements that can get him back there. He stayed relatively healthy outside of that one game. Everything went perfect. So it was kind of like the perfect storm. And Kittle can take another step up, even though I think we kind of seen the best of Kittle because since I said that once he got paid too. And, but running backs can't kind of stay healthy over there in San Fran. I like Deebo. Love me some Deebo. I tuck my chain in. I probably would take it off, put it in my pocket because he know how to sniff in and get it, snap it off. That was a Friday reference. I'm sure y'all know that. But Deebo Samuels, I do believe that he can be a wide receiver too, in between wide receiver 13 and 24. But it's very risky picking him second, third round maybe, and expecting him to produce back at that level. Be careful with that. I want to do great, don't get me wrong, but that's what I think. Cooper Kupp, automatic. Deebo Samuels, I think he has the most, definitely, obviously, out of the two to slide out of the wide receiver 1 range. Wide receiver 1, finishing wide receiver 1 through 12 is considered a wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. So those are your first 2 guys. Hope you guys found this informative. We're going to cover wide receiver 3 and 4 on the next video. Remember, if you're new, like the video, comment, and subscribe. Punch that subscribe button. And even if you aren't new, don't leave without doggone hooking your boy up and pressing the like. Now, help your boy out with the algorithms. All right, you guys. Flawless Fantasy Football. To the next video, I'll holler at you.